You see them online, real estate entrepreneurs. But how are they doing it? And what are they doing different? We've got the answers. This is the Real Estate Block. Interviewing real estate entrepreneurs doing consistent real estate deals. If you want to be a real estate entrepreneur or you're already in the business, we've got on the pros that give the secrets and strategies to make it happen. This is the Real Estate Block, and this is your host, Aaron Gaunt.
All right, welcome to the Real Estate Block podcast, where we ask our guests the tough and hard questions by taking a deep dive into how they have built their real estate team, marketed strategies, and systems and processes on how they have built a machine that spits out consistent real estate deals month after month. Where the value given during this show will help you find and create consistent real estate deal flow. Today, I have my good buddy, Carlos. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Aaron.
Carlos, tell us who you are, what were you doing before real estate, and why the heck did you get into this game of real estate?
I got you. So my name is Carlos. I originally grew up in Mexico, and I moved to the United States when I was 16. That was 2009. I moved here by myself, did not speak any English, and I was chasing a dream of making it to the NBA. Believe it or not, I am 6'6". I know Mexicans are not tall usually, but I am 6'6", so I was like, oh, maybe I should play basketball. So I came out here for high school, and I got after it. I wasn't like that crazy talented, so I did play in college and got a scholarship and everything, but I didn't have a shot to making it. So right after college, I was always like very entrepreneurial. I was listening to Gary Vee, Grant Cardone before they were even big, and I was just like, I'm moving back home in Orange County, and I don't want to work at a desk. I don't want to work at a 9 to 5. What should I do? So I love the game of basketball. I was already coaching on the side. I was doing some private lessons. And so I just moved back. I started texting parents that I have worked with before. And I told them that I was moving back and I wanted to start a club. So I started a youth basketball academy. I grew that to about 300 kids up until COVID hit. Once COVID hit, I see myself here like I have no income. I'm refunding a ton of money to parents because obviously there's no sports, right? Everybody's stuck at home. And I was already like watching YouTube, listening to Bigger Pocket podcasts, and trying to learn and put my money that I was making with the academy into real estate. But because my academy was doing so well, like that was my excuse to like, oh, like I'll get into real estate like later when I save more money, you know. But the pandemic like forced me to pivot. I literally made a bunch of calls, and one person, my good friend Ryan, he picked up the phone. And after like 3 times, he wouldn't answer. Like I would text him and he would ghost me. And after a few times, he finally answered. He's like, "Okay, come by the office." I was like, "Yeah, I'll do whatever, man." He gave me a script. He gave me a list, and I was cold calling for like 6 months straight, just for him. I did not find a deal. Did not find a deal until like the 7th month. But to answer your question as why I got into real estate is because I was doing well with my academy, but I've always had big ambitions, big goals, and I knew that I needed a vehicle that would take me to financial freedom. I knew I needed something that was not going to have a ceiling. I live in Orange County, California, a very affluent area, so the academy is a good business. You can make it a 7-figure business because parents here are willing to pay anything so that their kid gets trained, right, and gets a scholarship, etc. But I still knew that there was a ceiling there. So with real estate, from what I read, from what I hear, I knew there was not going to be a ceiling. So I knew I needed to get into it.
Wow, that's incredible. So, and I've seen the pictures of you coaching the kids and really mentoring them and building that up. And yeah, you started that, right?
Yeah, from scratch. Yeah.
Incredible. And if I could ask, how old were you when you started that? Because I mean, you look really young.
So I started coaching when I was still playing. So I was like 19, 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And so you just been kind of building that up. And again, that's such a huge go-giver mentality, not just in real estate, but obviously outside. So you saw Ryan, you were cold calling for him for 7 months. Just he ghosted you for a little bit. And I had a chance to meet Ryan and yourself at one point. Yeah, you are 6'6". I'm 6'2", and I don't meet too many people taller than me. So it was kind of cool to finally look
Yeah,
up to somebody, right?
Lucas,
Uh,
Lucas.
well, you and Ryan both are like 6'6", right?
He's 6'7". He's a little bit taller than me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we
Well,
play
hey.
basketball together Sunday nights.
Oh, dude, awesome,
You might
awesome. So
join,
you're.
man.
Oh yeah, I'll have to join. So are you still you're still coaching and everything with the kids, correct?
The academy is still running. I'm not on the court really at all
Mm.
anymore. I have I know we're gonna talk about systems and teams, but that's something that has allowed me to really step up the court and have my coaches run the academy. So we're there Monday to Thursday, and we play on the weekends. And I don't step a foot on the court.
Okay, gotcha. Well, okay, so you had this entrepreneurial mindset. You wanted to that something that didn't have a ceiling, which surprisingly, it sounds like this academy didn't have a ceiling either. You could have, expanded it, franchised it, etc. I mean, why didn't you go that way?
Very true. Very true. And it's something that I was starting to do. I built an application, like a training app, right before COVID. I launched that. So I was looking for ways. I was doing international camps. I was looking for ways to for it to really not be a ceiling. But regardless, like I just kept hearing like 8 out of 10 millionaires are built in real estate,
Mm,
passive income, cash flow. I started hearing all these terms, and I was fascinated by them. And I'm always been a numbers guy. Like it wasn't just like, oh, there's money there, like I like numbers. I like analyzing deals. I liked all of that. So when I got into it, I just fell in love with it, and I was like, I'm truly blessed that COVID made me pivot. I know it was a super hard time for everybody, but it really forced me to pivot, and now I have both businesses up and running and thriving. Thank you.
right. No, that's incredible, dude. So yeah, you do have now the real estate business up and thriving. So you were a cold caller for Ryan. I mean, and again, I know. So you had this whole these millionaires are all in real estate investing. You started cold calling with Ryan. You probably saw him on, what was it, the Future Flipper,
Flipping 101.
Flipping 101. And so you saw him. You said, let me reach out to him. You started working for him, but now you partnered up, right?
Yeah, we're currently partners. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. How long did it take you to get I mean, you said 7 months, your first real estate deal. What was that deal?
So that was a deal in Banning. So I was driving for dollars out in Banning, and I came across this seller that, believe it or not, he literally owned half of the town. Like just one conversation. And that's what I always tell like everyone, like one conversation could be life changing. Like one phone call, one text message, one email. This conversation, like we hit it off. He's Hispanic. We're talking Spanish. We're chit chatting, and little did I know he owned half of Banning. He ended up selling us that month, January 2021, 7 properties.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And it was crazy. It was kind of like I went through everything I'm sure you guys went through when you started your company, like the frustration, the discouragement, like nobody's answering, everybody's telling me to f off, like
Yep.
like we're not accepting, we're not so many offers. Like I will go to Ryan and be like, hey, like they're asking 325 and we're at 318, and he's like, nah man, like I'm disciplined with my numbers. And I'm like, I wanted to be like, bro, come on. And obviously we didn't know what the market was gonna do, but like so many deals like that, and then I will be like, all right, and then I will go back and hit up the phone. So that January, that was the 7th month. It was literally life changing. I got my first check. We ended up getting like 9 deals that month, and then
Nice.
from there, like it was like January, February, we got more deals. February, more deals. March, and like one day I was walking into the office and he's like, hey man, like I incorporated trusted investors, sign here so that you're 50% owner. I was like,
Oh,
what?
wow.
I was like,
That's
what?
incredible.
And yeah, it totally took me like out of like by surprise. I was like, wait, seriously? And he's like, yeah, bro, like uh go for it. Like here, sign. And he never really like told me like why. Like he's kind of like reserved and stuff. But
Yeah.
I assume, and he has heard me say this before. And honestly, I think that just the work ethic was what made me earn that. And I was doing it without an expectation, like I was just thankful that he gave me the opportunity to like step into this industry and mentor me and guide me, right? and I was blessed by that partnership, and like now we've done close to like 100 flips. We're consistently every single month wholesaling deals nationwide, so it's been awesome.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, Ryan is the kind of like relaxed guy, that's awesome that you kind of found that by surprise. Let me ask you this, and I want to go back a little bit when you said that you had these properties at like 318, sorry, 325. He said, no, I need to be at 318. Because I know Ryan was the flipper.
Yep.
Were you the one who brought in and say, hey, dude, let's just wholesale these? Since it doesn't work for you, Ryan, can we wholesale them?
Yeah. So at the beginning, when I was cold calling, we kind of like structure it to where like I was going to wholesale to him, and then I started creating a team through social media and like Facebook and stuff. I created a team of like 12 people that were driving for dollars and cold calling for me. So then we kind of became like a machine that started finding deals, and then I will wholesale to him. So then when we became partners, we were like, okay, we're gonna have the flipping company and we're gonna have the wholesale company with this machine that was kind of already created.
Right. Did he help you make that machine, or was that kind of like your thing and he was flipping on this over here?
Yeah, that was kind of like all me. And then when we partnered, then we went kind of like half and half with paying for everything, like the tools, the marketing, all that stuff.
Right.
And then now, like, yeah, he's kind of like the project management, flipping, and I'm kind of like acquisitions, and like we work very well together.
Yeah, that's incredible. You guys do seem like you guys work real well. I mean, when I met you, I think it was like a year and a half ago. Yeah, you guys had you guys both laptops out. You guys were strategizing. You guys were taking down the notes. You guys were, and it was a pleasure of mine. And a little backstory before I ask the next question. Ryan, with the advice that he gave me, actually, he gave me a connection, and it saved me over 200 grand. And I want to tell you this right now. Yeah, so. I asked a question. I said something. I forgot what it was. And Ryan basically taps on my shoulder because I was sitting right in front of you guys. And he said, hey, use this attorney. Well, I had like 10 properties, like with sellers being angry and wanted to back out. And I was like, ugh. Well, and I was going through attorneys, but they were just way too nice. And I was like, I needed like a ruthless attorney. So Ryan gives me Scott. You know Scott, right? And this Scott we gave him all the properties, and they like, I think every single one but one like got back on track, and we made like 200 grand. Like, it was great.
Hey, I'm telling you, one conversation.
Oh, that's a perfect example. So, Carlos, let me ask you this. So you go in Banning, and Banning's a fantastic place to get deals.
I didn't even know it existed until this deal.
I know, same. So you go to Banning, you meet this amazing gentleman who sells you all these properties. Now, obviously, you could look at that and say this is a one-time thing, right? How did you go from continuously driving for dollars, building that team, to consistent month after month deal flow?
Good question. So I think this is important when it comes to partnerships or when it comes to scaling. I think it's important to really figure out where you want to get to. Like, what's your end goal? What's your end goal in 10 years? What's your end goal in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 12 months from now, right? So that's one thing that me and Ryan aligned, and that we were like right there aligned. So with that, we were like, okay, like, we got 7 deals from this guy, and then we have 3 other ones from like PPC. What do we want to do? And we really just sat down, broke it down. We're like, okay, well, we want to do X amount a year. What is it going to take? It's going to take this amount of deals. So this amount of deals, we need like 8 a month, let's say. So to be able to create 8 a month, what did we do? How many offers? How many calls? How much money in marketing did we spend? All of these KPIs that are important, that if you figure out, it will lead you to like so that you can get the results that you want to get. So that's pretty much what we did. We were like, okay, what do we need to do? And it's constant tweaking. We like, okay. we change. I mean, SMS blasting. We got us some deals, but with the restrictions from the carriers and all that stuff, you have to constantly change. We changed like softwares and that we were using. Driving for dollars was like huge source of leads and deals for a while, and then we kind of paused it, and then we're doing it again. It's constant tweaking, constant training for the acquisitions managers, for the lead managers, fire and hire VAs, change VA company. Like it's a constant. Like you have to always be like, okay, where do we need to improve? What do we need to improve?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
one deal a month could be life changing for a person that is, I don't know, they're making X amount and they just want to make 20 extra grand a year. One deal a month can do that, right? Or 30
Right.
grand. Like 2 deals a month is good. 3 deals a month. But if you really want to get to a certain point, like
Mhm.
figure out what he's gonna get to, what is he gonna take, you know?
Right. It goes back to that like no ceiling, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's something that we really had clear. We had clear vision of where we want to go, where we wanted to get, and we did everything that we needed to do to get there. And there's still improvement. Like right now, like you're saying, with the
Right.
market, we had like August, September was super slow, and October, November,
Yep.
December, we've killed it.
There you go, baby. Love it. Yeah, it sounds just like what we felt. We felt it, and then we figured it out real quick. You got your head down and coming out even stronger.
Yeah,
So
you have to adapt. You have to adapt. Like right when the market shifted, we were getting so many emails from like wholesaling companies, price reduction, price reduction, price reduction, price
mhm.
reduction, and we were like, wow, like this is really gonna show who were the real ones and who were doing a good job and who's gonna adapt. You know, because not a lot of people are gonna make it.
100%. And you, I think you guys are like coaching kids and coaching individuals, and I know you're probably seeing people kind of get weeded off, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
and I think it's gonna continue to happen.
yeah, Carlos, let me ask you this: what does your real estate team look like right now?
So right now we have two acquisitions managers, we have two lead managers, and then we have about 10 VAs underneath that
Oh
are
wow,
feeding the pipeline. That's a transaction coordinator. We kind of like hire out. We pay somebody per transaction, and then we have like an admin person that helps us with all the admin stuff, all the like an assistant that takes care of like lists and tools and paying for this bills and all that stuff. It's a
uh,
small team.
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I would. And it's funny. I say that. I always say like ours is a small team too at times, and then people are like, really, it's not a small. But to us, yeah, it's definitely like a lean, mean team, and like you just told me, it is a lean, mean team. When you say you hired out a TC, so that TC is not in house, do you use like a company?
Yeah, it's not in house. It's just an independent TC that
Okay.
yeah, that we pay them like $300 per transaction or $400, something like that.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I always say the first best hire is a good TC. Just something, and so what our TC does, so we have a TC in house. Her name is Victoria, fantastic individual, and basically, because what I want to do is I want my acquisition guys to pass the paperwork over to her, and then she handles the buyers, the sellers,
Yeah.
the updates, the escrow, the title. But yeah, I wanted it in house too. But let
Yeah,
me ask you this.
we're looking at that as well. We're looking at that. Like I said, there's always tweaking, there's always improvement, and we're always one thing for anyone listening. Like, if you want to be good at something, you have to keep your eyes open and your mind open about what's working for people. Because some people tend to just be like, oh, this works for me. Like, I don't care what you do. Like, this works for me, and this is what I'm gonna do. Like, that's great.
Right.
This work X works for you, great. But what's working for other people? And then pick stuff from here, like implement it. And it's just gonna make your stuff blow up.
Oh, 100%. I can't tell you how many times, and I'm sure you've felt the same. You're always switching kind of different models. It's like the same, but you're switching a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because I know you said you had 10 VAs. Are those 10 VAs cold callers?
About 8 of them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I always say that. So, because with the whole like when we tried cold calling, I filled this office up that we're in now with like 5 cold callers in house Americans, and then I went overseas and built a cold call team and SOPs and stuff like that. Then I scratched that, and then I hired out a company to do it because I was like, I don't got time to do that. And then so it's like, yeah, you're always changing, you're always adapting,
Yep.
checking, like you said, your KPIs, right? Okay, so you have a TC, your 2 acquisition guys. Are your acquisition guys stateside?
Yes, the two acquisitions managers, yes. One lead manager, yes, and then the other lead manager is in El Salvador. So she's a VA as well.
Oh, nice. Okay. And And I'm gonna pick your brain. Really good because so acquisitions is something that I feel like, and you're a great acquisition person. But what I've now struggled with was
Yeah.
running the team, being a leader to that team. How have you adapted to running a full on sales team, lead managers, acquisition guys?
Yeah, great question. That's something too that it took a while to kind of like figure out and be able to claim that it's a good team. Because again, there's constant improvement. There's always improvement. But one thing that I can think of right now, it's daily meetings, daily 8:45 a.m. team meetings to get
Mm,
everybody hyped, to get everybody. We do goals for the on Mondays. We do goals for the week,
okay.
and then daily we do goals for the day to make sure that they're aligned with the goals for the week. And then
Oh
at the
wow.
end, and then at the end of the week we're like, okay everybody, like you hit your goals, why yes, why not, why yes, why not. And then we go through everybody, and it's just a level of accountability that they know that, oh, Carlos is gonna ask me like if I did this, or if they fall short, then maybe that's okay, and the next week they won't aim as high, or like, or at least we'll be able to like be like where we fell short.
Right.
So those two things I can think of right now, uh that really helped, because before we did that, it was like, yeah, everybody's online and we know that everybody's making calls, and I can see like Podio and all that stuff, the CRM, I can see everybody's making calls and all that stuff, but I didn't really know, like, yeah, I'm at
Mm,
the office, Ryan's at the office, the couple other acquisitions guys are at the office, but like everybody else, the whole team is not. So like, how do I, like, like I wanted to make sure that everybody's showing up. I wanted to make sure that everybody's hungry, everybody's aligned with our vision and in our
right.
goals, so that we can really, as a team, build this.
Yeah. What are some goals that you have your acquisition guys and your lead managers set on Monday, and then what do you hold them accountable for the end of the week?
So, for example, for a Monday, I'll say like, okay, this acquisition manager is gonna send out 5 agreements this week. So
Mm,
to do 5 agreements this week, he needs to make 8 offers a day, and to make
mm,
8 offers a day, the VAs need to stay on track with their two to three leads every single day per VA. And that's how we track it. And I also make sure that someone else, like quality control, they're listening to recordings from the VAs and stuff, because that's another thing. Like, it's not my people. Like, I didn't find them. Like, I found a company, and then it's this company that is providing us with VAs, right? So when we scale to like 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6 VAs, like there's they have other clients, right? So like, how do I know that
right.
they're treating me with a priority? How do I know that they're making sure that their agents are performing and they're sending us quality leads? So
Right.
that's another thing. Like, we're listening weekly to recordings to make sure that we're on their ass, so that make sure they're working and they're performing for us.
What company are you using that provide the VAs?
Right now, it's called Call Savvies.
Call Savvies. Okay, I haven't heard of them, but they said they must be good since you've been with them. How long have you been with them?
We actually just switched with them, maybe like 2 months.
Okay,
Yeah, we
nice.
were with the other company. We were for like a year and a half. The other with
And
the
what
other.
made you what made you switch?
Well, before we left them, I hired one from this company from Call Savvies. I hired two. And they were cheaper. That's once. I interviewed them. Their English was great. No accents really. And then I was listening to recordings weekly, and they came through. Like, all of the deals that we've gotten in the next 60 days are from them.
Oh wow.
And
Okay,
the other company, we were giving them the same list. The other company wasn't performing as well. So we're like,
there you go.
see ya.
Yep, 100%. So let me ask you this. I mean, that kind of goes right into my next question, Carlos. What are you and Ryan's marketing strategies look like now, especially with the market change?
Yeah. So we're still doing a PPC, Google and Facebook. Facebook
Always.
has been a huge success for us. Shout out to my guy Quinn. He's the goat of Facebook ads.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, those two have given us great success. Cold calling is, we still believe that it still works. Like, I don't think it's hard to beat getting on the phone and having a conversation with a homeowner. Like, you know, um, obviously it's hard because it's like outbound and you're reaching out to them, you're cold calling them, right? So that's why you have to do a big volume, big numbers, but I think it's still worth it. So that we do cold calling, SMS blasting, Facebook, Google, driving for dollars, and I think that's it. Yeah, we don't do mailers. We don't do mailers, but pretty much just the traditional social media. We get a lot of referrals through social media from agents that we've worked on before. We've done now. We as soon as the market shifted, we started doing MLS stuff more.
Okay.
Yeah, just because the relationships that we have here in California, like we have them, we don't work with agents out nationwide, not because we don't want to, it's just we're not as well as connected.
Right.
But here in California, we have those connections, and agents were reaching out like, hey, this has been sitting here for a while. This guy's motivated. What can you do? And we were able to get some deals of the MLS.
Well, I'm glad that you guys are crushing on Facebook. I know a lot of people do struggle on Facebook, so yeah, big shout out if you want to get on Facebook ads. Hit up Carlos. He'll has that connect or the plug, right?
Yeah,
so let
yeah,
me. You say you're going nationwide, so I know that I was in the same mindset. I wanted to stay in Southern California at first, but this market shift really made me go out into other states. I felt like, hey, let's go deeper, not wider. But now I'm like, okay, but the West Coast got hit the hardest. Now I'm like in other states, and we're crushing in other states. When did you decide to go nationwide, and how does that look right now?
So we started going nationwide this year, January of 2022, and because that was one of our goals to go nationwide. We believed that we needed to go nationwide in order to meet our goals of what we wanted to bring in revenue for the year. So we did that, and it was hard. It was hard, like finding like people to take pictures of properties in Iowa. Like it was hard find like escrow titles, all this stuff. It was hard. So but we were able to do it decent uh nationwide. And then when the market shifted, that's when we were like, okay, let's really analyze the KPIs for every single market, and then let's really use double down on the markets that have brought us the most deals, and let's put our marketing dollars in those markets. So those markets are Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Nevada, Texas, and California, and Georgia. So those are kind of
Nice.
like the markets that, based on market trends, based on us listening to experts, like it seems like even if we have like a crash, like a market correction, it seems like those markets are in really, really high demand. And I mean, the Sun Belt, like people love living there. Like so many
Yeah.
people there, so many people, so much development, so much construction. Like North Carolina, I love North Carolina, man. Like I'm looking into keeping some properties out there,
Oh, nice.
and people just love it. Like Tennessee, like the institutional buyers, like they love rentals in Tennessee that are 50,000, like $50,000 houses, but they still rent for 1,000. Like you can wholesale all day to these institutional buyers, like all day.
That I guess that goes into my next question. How are you guys dispoing them right now?
So we have one dispo. Oh, I guess I forgot my dispo guy when you asked me what my
He's just in the back selling property somewhere.
So we have one dispo guy, and we use investor lift to blast it out and get it out there.
Awesome.
And he's really good at following up with people. He's really good at vetting buyers and making sure that we have good relationships that we can build, so that we continue to be repeat clients for them.
Nice. And then I know you said your struggle was early on this year was getting pictures. How did you guys figure that out?
Honestly, social media, it's great for that. Like I just
Nice.
post a story and be like, hey, I need pictures in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
I'll paid, hit me up. And then I have, I get text from like, hey, I have this friend that has this friend, and then they put us in a text, and then I'm like, hey, I'll give you $100, 150. And
Nice.
yeah, there's people out there easy, like Jacksonville. The first time I did a deal in Jacksonville, like somebody through social media told, like, he's from here and he's like, hey, I got a guy in Jacksonville, like he'll do it, give him for the gas and $100 and he'll do it. Done. So yeah, social media.
Nice. Yeah, we've done and got a lot of pictures through social media, mostly when it was in Southern California. Right now we are spending the money to get photos. We use Home Jab. You ever heard of them?
No.
So we use Home Jab right now. They're nationwide. So if you get a property anywhere, unfortunately, it's a little bit pricey. So it's like $250, $300 or whatever, just to get like professional photos of a property. And we usually do it with like those, like, oh, this is like a for sure 100% a deal.
Okay.
We'll send out Home Jab because then it's just anywhere. It's just super easy. My TC calls them, schedules it, and but yeah, it's a little pricey. So if you have the opportunity to use social media and get somebody out there for like $100, which that's what we do at times as well.
So it's Home JAB.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check them out. Yeah, I mean, if you know that it's gonna be a deal 100%, like I think that's totally worth it, especially with professional photos.
Right. Especially in this market, buyers are being a little bit pickier. But so it's good to put something, on the table that they could, look at, right? But we also, at times, when the seller can give us photos, it's a great way as well. But you know how those turn out.
Yeah.
Carlos, let me ask you this: what's your number one struggle that you would like to share, that you could share with us today in your real estate business that you're working to overcome?
Yeah. So I think the number one struggle here is really going past the 10 months. The 10 deals a month. I think, like I said before, like one deal a month is great, 2 deals a month is great, but based on what we want, based on our personal goals, being able to surpass that, like that's something that we want to do, and for some reason, like it seems like we're just not able to. It's inconsistent when it comes to that amount of deals a month. We haven't been able to surpass it, or do like 3 months of 9 deals each month.
Right,
So
like a consistency. Yeah,
exactly. So that's probably the one struggle. So we really use, going back to what I was saying about KPIs and really analyzing all of your numbers, your strategies, and all that stuff. That's kind of what we're doing for this new year, so that we can really like make sure that we're gonna be on track, or at least we're gonna take these steps necessary that are needed so that we can get there and really shoot for it. I think one of the things too, it's like the training that we're doing more. We're implementing more training for acquisitions people. Like we have good closer. I still close deals. Like I enjoy it. I like it. I'm not gonna say I'm the best out there, but
I think we all do. I think we all do as like an acquisition in our business. We're the best.
Yeah. So that's another thing that we're trying to be more intentional about. Going to sales trainings, going to events, really trying to build that culture for the team, so that everybody's everybody's most of the time motivated. I was gonna say always, but it's hard to always be motivated,
Right.
You just really build that culture of like, we're hungry, we're getting after it, we're working as a team. Because Patrick Bet-David, I have my best friend works for his company, and he sold it for like, I don't know, $500 million or something, and they have like 50,000 insurance agents or something. And so really studying like the way that they keep their people together, it's like it's super interesting and fascinating. So I think that's something that's hard. It's hard to do. You asked me earlier, how do I keep the sales team motivated? So just always looking for ways to try to have that culture, to build that culture, to keep the team motivated and accountable. Like all of that stuff is gonna give you the results of, like, I think we just need to do a better job to get us to that past 10 deals, and obviously the marketing is going to need the marketing budget is going to need to increase and all that stuff.
100%. Yeah. I think it's, people just let it roll if you're talking, oh, culture's this, culture's everything, whatever. But it's like, when you actually try to implement it, it's a lot harder, and it does take a pretty significant skill to build it's just like a muscle, right? You got to figure out what works. And then one thing that I struggle with too is I try to do one-on-ones with everybody, and I'll like go with a week without doing it or 2 weeks without doing it. And it's like I'm trying to get disciplined. I was like, every day I got to sit down with these guys and go one-on-one. What's going on? What's your purpose? What is it, right? Carlos,
Yeah.
let me ask you this. Oh, go on.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say like that's a great thing to do, and I'm sure you go beyond like the office and the work stuff. Like, I'm sure you ask them like, how's life, how's your kids, how's everything, right? Because
Right.
I try to do that because I wanna tell them like when I've hired people, especially in-house people, I tell them like I don't want you just to show up for a check, for a paycheck.
Right.
I want you to show up because you want to be here and you want to change your family's lives. I want to make sure that I know what you want out of the next 5 to 10 years, and even though you might not be here for 5 to 10 years, if we do everything that we can right now to get you to where you want to be in 10 years, then you're gonna be set up to be successful. And I
Right.
always ask them like, okay, what is your health? What are your goals with your health? What are your goals with your family? What are your goals with your personal development, like reading books or whatever it is? Because
Right.
I think if everybody's aligned and everybody's on the same page, like there's sky's the limit.
Right. No, I heard on a podcast, I forgot who it was, but yeah, he basically put the purpose, like what they told him when they first joined, their purpose, like on their desk. And so every time they were slacking or they didn't make the calls, they didn't make the offers, they
Mm,
always like, are we going to be able to hit your goals or this is for your purpose, right? So that was kind of cool. I mean, I know some people have like vision boards. Honestly, we haven't done that. I want to start doing that. We
yeah.
in February we'll start building up our sales team once again because I was up to 4 acquisition guys earlier this year, and like I feel, and I'll just admit it, I feel like I failed miserably on them. And I can say it's them, right? Like you guys were locking up deals, but in the end, it always comes down to me, and I'm going to be
100%.
learning to get better.
100%.
Let me ask you this before I move on. Are you guys doing any other transactions like retail? I know you guys are doing flip and wholesale. You guys doing like novations, retail, buy and holds?
Yeah, we started doing more novations. We've done a lot of hotel stuff.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and buy and hold, we are starting to do more. Yes. Well, I have a couple Airbnbs. Ryan has a couple Airbnbs.
Oh,
So
incredible.
that's the stuff that we're holding. But right now we're actively more looking to see what makes sense to hold. And we're also marketing multifamily from like 2 to 50 unit complexes.
There you
So
go.
we're hoping to come across those so that we can hold those and keep those.
Nice, nice. Let me ask you this. I think we kind of might have already hit on it, but I'm going to ask you: what are your and Ryan's strategies to get through this recession and come out the other side even stronger?
Yeah. I love that question. And I had a meetup recently, and straight up told the audience, I'm like, guys, like, I don't know much. I've only been full time in real estate for 2 years. But here's the one thing that I take pride on. I always listen to the ones I do know. And ever since when I had my academy and I started wanting to get into real estate, I was reaching out to people. I was getting coffee with people that have been in the business for 40 years, people that live in Newport Beach waterfront and own 5,000 units nationwide. So that's one of the things that I'm super proud of. Like, I don't know a lot. I know a little bit. Fortunately for me, my partner Ryan has been flipping houses for 10 years, and the two mentors I have own 5,000 units nationwide. So those are the people that
Wow.
I pay attention to, and that's what I would say to anyone listening or wanting to know what they're gonna do in the next 6 months, 6 to 12 months. Like, know what listen, pay attention closely to what people that have been through 3 or 4 or 5 recessions, and see what they're
Right.
doing, and then adapt. We did shrink back with our marketing a little bit back in November. I think we kind of like scaled back, and for some reason, like we're doing a lot like yeah,
Yeah.
we're doing a lot better. We were a little bit more purposeful about like where every dollar is going to,
Hmm.
doubling down on what's working, and so that's going to be our strategy. Like really paying attention to what the experts are doing. We With wholesaling, I think it's helpful to know that the institutional buyers are still buying in certain
Mhm.
markets, because we know they must know something. They have $1 billion in their pocket. They must know something, you know. So just really paying close attention to what the people that have gone through a bunch of recessions, what they're doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. That kind of goes into my next question. You say you're listening to all these, you have mentors that are doing incredible things. What have you read or listened to that's just inspired you, Carlos?
Yes. So when I when I hear that question, I thought of this book that it's not related to real estate, but I thought I would share. The book is called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, and
Mm.
it's by John Mark Comer. He's a pastor in Portland. It's a Christian book, but I will highly recommend it. Even if you're not a Christian, like I will highly recommend it, because it's mainly on living life for what it is, and purposefully, instead of just like the hustle mentality that the whole US has. Like that's
Mm.
one of the things. Like when I moved here from Mexico, like it's like not like go 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 nonstop, like goals, cars, money, like especially here in California. So that's one of the things that as I started my businesses, and as I was scaling and I was growing, I was like, man, like I just turned 30, and I was like, this is stress thing, adult thing is real. Like I'm feeling it. So I started having some health issues and stuff, and it seems like it was all stress and pressure and all this
Hmm.
stuff. Just reading that book, you allow me to really like see, like, okay, like at the end of the day, I have a food on my table. I have a roof over my head. My family is getting taken care of back in Mexico, and I'm able to help them. Like we're good,
Good.
and God's got
Good.
me. And this business is amazing, and the industry is amazing. What we're able to do for families, and what I'm able to do for the in-house, my my teammates, like my colleagues, like they left 9 to 5s, and one my main closer, his name is Gio. Like he was a therapist when I met him, and he was
Oh, wow.
hustling after hours, closing deals. He quit his job like 6 months ago. Just had a daughter. Like
Wow.
that little girl is gonna have a different life just because his dad took a leap of faith, and because we were able to give him that opportunity. And that's
Yeah.
that's the amazing things that I want to go after. It's not like, oh, give me another wholesale check. Like, no, it's life changing stuff, that an impact that we can have on other people. So going back to that book, it's kind of more like, okay, I'm gonna sit back. Like life is great. Enjoy your family, enjoy your kids. I don't have kids, but enjoy your family, like have fun, go play basketball. Like I used to, like when I graduated, I didn't play basketball for like 2 years. I was all like head down, make money. people's
Yeah.
got People got to be taken care of, and it really took a hit. So now I'm like, okay, I can play basketball 2 3 times a week. Like I can sleep in, like it's all good. Like the hustle mentality, it's amazing, and it's great, and I feel like it's in me. But at one point, you really have to like sit back and see, like, okay, what's important to me.
Right. 100%. And I'm sure it was in that book. I've read it in another book too, but like, I think it's like 75% of people in the hospitals are sick because it's what's in their head, right? They think they have a sickness. And so I just want you to repeat that book again.
The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry.
There you go. Just basically, I love it. So Carlos, one quick question, and then we'll move on. But just kind of end the show here. But what's a myth in real estate that you would like to debunk today?
Oh, I like this one. I like this one. So it's not really a myth, but I feel like a lot of newbies struggle with this.
Hmm.
The quote unquote, you can back out once you have a contract signed. And I think a lot of newbies have that fear, because I hear it from them, and because I firsthand experienced that. Like
Hmm.
I was so scared to put a deal in their contract, because I was like, wait, what? Like, what if I can't come up with the money? What if I, like, it's not a deal? And like I was so scared, and Ryan like used to laugh at me and be like, he's like, bro, like, you can back out of pretty much any contract. Like you're fine. And he would just sign contract. I'm like, wow. Like, so I think that's like one thing that, for anyone listening, like if you're fearful of real estate, and you're still thinking about pulling the trigger, like just make offers. Like you'll
Yeah.
be fine. You'll be fine. Make offers. Don't be scared. Like, you can back out of contracts.
And I know we tried not to, but if you
Yeah.
can't move a contract, hit up your man Carlos. He'll move it for you.
Yeah, or you. Yeah, exactly. We'll find a buyer for you between the two of us.
There you go, Carlos. I couldn't. I mean, you guys are crushing it. You guys are something. You guys are a team that I look up to and admire, because I love seeing you guys. And you guys are just strictly go givers. You guys have a big heart. You guys are believers. Again, thank you so much for your time out of your busy schedule to hop on here, Carlos. Let me ask you this: where can we find you on social media?
Social media, my Instagram is Carlos Closes. I know it's cheesy. My girlfriend gave me a hard time, but I do close deals, so whatever. TikTok and Instagram, Carlos Closes, and our YouTube is Trusted Investors, and we're also on TikTok for with a Trusted Investors account. So you guys can DM me on Instagram any question. I'm always happy to answer them, and I'm here to help.
Awesome, brother. All right, we'll see you next time here on the Real Estate Block Podcast.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Thanks so much for having me.